Well, feedback loop. Good morning, everybody. What is going on? We are having fun today. I got a feedback loop. You take over first.
Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to SFTB. That's Eddie. I'm John. For those of you that don't know us, we've got a kind of an interesting one for you today. We're going to give you a preview of our hours class, the 7-hour class that we are hosting on Monday, and then we're hosting it again in May for those of you in Illinois to be able to get your hours. We've got a quiz. We've got some motivation. I got a couple things that I'm going to surprise Eddie with today. Look at the head. The head just shook from side to side.
The technical issues sometimes is no joke, man. This is the fun of live. This is the fun of live feeds. You know.
Are you all better?
I think so.
Okay.
So make no promises.
So we do have we have a 7-hour class coming up this Monday on the 10th in Oak Brook, Illinois. I believe there are still
Downers Grove.
Sorry, my bad.
Wrong class.
One class. Right class, wrong area. You are going to get 7 hours. We still have some tickets available for that. And then in May,
not much. Not many tickets left.
Yeah. And then in May, we're starting to fill up for that class. So if you're looking for hours, htbbeauty.com. And you can get you can sign up for the class, and we have a lot of cool stuff that's going to happen. So we're going to go right into the quiz for you. Unless Eddie, how's your week going so far? It's only Tuesday.
I'm having all kinds of technical problems. I need tech support. I need IT. Have you tried turning? I have not tried. Can I turn myself off and on again?
Have you hit the restart? Have you hit the restart button?
Seriously, that's what I need, man. I need my own reset button.
That is. All right. Are you all situated so you can concentrate on your quiz?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this.
Here. Okay, we're gonna delve into some fun parts of hair color today with the quiz. Okay. Here's your question. What is direct dye? A, hair color that coats the hair. B, hair color that penetrates to the medulla. Or C, hair color that needs a developer.
The way you phrase these answers sometimes, I swear to God, the color that penetrates to the medulla, was how you said the answer?
Yeah, a hair color that penetrates to the medulla.
Hair color that penetrates to the medulla. If that's not the most roundabout way of saying oxidative dye, I don't know what the hell it is. That's like, you know how there's these posts that says, tell me something without telling me something?
Yes.
Yeah, to tell me oxidative dye without saying oxidative dye,
well, hair color. We're not talking about oxidative dye. We're talking about direct dye.
I'm just saying that answer is so freaking goofy. I don't even care about the main question anymore. For all you ADD sons of peoples out there. This is the squirrel, the shiny coin going across. This is how you distract somebody real quick, okay? Yeah, direct dye coats the hair. The first answer you said, A. It's hair color that coats the hair.
And most direct dyes do not require a developer. True?
Most direct dyes do not require a developer.
Excellent. Okay.
Oh, was this supposed to be like a multiple answer?
No. We're just adding that as a caveat.
Oh, you're just adding it as a caveat.
So here's your next question, which you kind of just touched on anyway. What is oxidative hair dye? A, temporary color. B, hair color that requires a oxidative agent, usually hydrogen peroxide. Or C, hair color that coats the hair.
It's B. It's the second one, but I'm afraid to make a comment now because that's probably going to be your third question if I start making a comment.
I doubt you even. I doubt the third question is even on your radar.
Okay, but what? Say the answer one more time.
What is oxidative hair color? A, temporary color. B, hair color that requires a oxidative agent, usually hydrogen peroxide. Or C, hair color that coats the hair.
So is there any other circumstance? You know how creatively we could use distilled water, or we could do things to tweak the color into working?
Right.
But 95% out of the time, like 9 out of 10 times, you're just using developer.
Right.
Is there any other oxidizing agent like peroxide that goes under any other name other than developer?
See, that's a great question, and I don't know the answer to that, but we'll find that out. But I've always wondered, you know how you ever been in the store and you see these alkaline waters?
Okay, yeah.
You know, alkaline water, it's like 7 or whatever it is, right? I've always wondered, if you mix the alkaline water with hair color, would it work?
I don't think so.
Well, besides the water diluting the color, but with the alkalinity, because most permanent hair color is an alkaline solution, correct?
Yeah, but okay, so now you're talking about
Chemistry.
the alkalinity in a well, wait a minute. Now you got me confused. Peroxide, once mixed with color, activates the ammonia and everything else, which raises the alkalinity of the now you have a mixture.
Right.
But peroxide sitting by itself, yeah, I guess it's still alkaline, isn't it?
It's still alkaline. Because do you remember like girls in high school spraying hydrogen peroxide in their hair and going laying out in the sun?
Okay, so do I have a treat for you? One moment, please.
Hold, please. Look at him try to read. Me sound out words.
Alkaline water is altered to a higher pH, which some claim can neutralize acid in the bloodstream, provide for enhanced workout recovery, and help prevent disease. The science on these claims is limited, however. The body does an incredible job at keeping our pH within a very tight and controlled range. Consuming more alkaline water will not shift your pH outside of its normal range, says this. I'm just not gonna call out a name, but a Dr. registered dietitian who,
Dr. Vinny Boombots.
Yeah, Dr. Vinny Boombots, who is a registered dietitian who works with people with kidney diseases. Okay. So based on this article, which is all about water, by the way, which I coincidentally was just tore out of the magazine. I don't know if you do this or not, but like Carmelina will bring home a magazine, or we'll get a magazine in the mail, and I'll thumb through the pages. And if any article is of semi-interest to me that I think I'm going to read,
I rip it out.
I just literally tear the pages out.
I get yelled at all the time. What is all these papers?
Because I immediately toss the magazine afterwards.
Right.
Or I do something else. I repurpose the magazine for something else afterwards.
Right.
I just don't keep stacks of magazines laying around.
Right.
I have books everywhere. Like I have bookshelf and books everywhere, but I'm not a magazine collector if I'm not, subscribing to it for a specific collector's purposes.
No, I get that.
But according to that little blurb, it kind of like what I was going to say, what I was going to guess. Alkaline water is not high enough on the pH scale where it would be potent enough to exact any level of change.
Okay.
And the human body in particular, as magnificent as it is, Our livers are constantly working on overtime to filter and purify everything that goes through our bloodstream.
I get that.
It's why, I mean, this is not a great example, but this is why, like especially with drinking, some people have a high tolerance because they constantly are intaking so much alcohol that their body just gets used to processing that at a certain rate, and so you need more of it. It's the same thing with medication. It's the same thing. Oh, here's one beauty related. They say it used to be this old wives' tale, like the myth that shampoo, your body would get used to a certain shampoo, so you had to change it up after so many times, right? No, that's just the season changing.
Yes.
But people thought like your body was absorbing all the stuff from the shampoo, and it was like cycling it or purifying it or whatever it was doing to it, and then it just got built up a tolerance towards it,
Right.
Which is a myth that's a busted myth. The season changes, you need new shampoo. That's why it's not working anymore.
Right. Your hair is requiring something different than what that shampoo is giving it now. I get that.
That's the truth of it all.
So then the answer to your question is, for what is oxidative hair color? It is hair
color.
Oh,
right. We were actually talking. We had a question and answer.
The hair color. It's hair color that requires an oxidative agent, usually hydrogen peroxide.
Hydrogen peroxide.
We went sideways with alkaline water and all that. I'm interested to think what everybody else thinks out there. Let us know. Throw it in the comments. What do you think? Do you think we could make hair color work with other things other than peroxide? So now here's your third question. This is a great one. What is metallic salt hair color? A, shiny hair color. B, metal compounds that build up on the hair to color it. C, hair color that penetrates the cuticle.
I'm going to go with B.
It is B.
I have no idea what you're asking me, by the way.
Metallic salt.
So by process of elimination, I'm going with
B. Here's your little bit of beauty history.
Okay, but real quick, say the question one more time now. Okay. I did not understand the question at all.
What is metallic salt hair color?
Oh, metallic based salt. Metallic salt.
Metallic salt.
Okay.
Metallic salts are usually in cheap hair color, usually over the counter. Remember the old men's hair colors, like Just for Men and all that? The more you use it, the darker it gets. It's because these metallic salts build up on the hair. They actually bond to the hair itself, not inside the hair, on the external, and it oxidizes and makes it darker, or because it is a mineral, it gets real brassy. Have you ever seen these old guys walking around with like orangey hair? They're using a metallic salt hair color. Now here's one of the things that they found out with metallic salts. With metallic salts building up on the hair, it causes dryness. It will impede any kind of natural oils or anything on the hair, which then will make it brittle and breakage. So progressive or whatever they want to call it, hair dyes usually contain metallic salts, and metallic salts will compromise the hair.
So you just answered my question. I was going to ask if that's what born the technology to make the difference between progressive and non-progressive dyes.
Correct. Yes. And then what they were finding out is back in the 70s when this really was prevalent, people, and when there was female progressive hair dyes too, like that.
Yeah.
But then I've
used those.
Yeah. And what they were finding out is then these women would go and try and get a perm. And with all these metallic salts built up on the hair, they couldn't get inside to restructurize the hair, and it would cause breakage. I mean, literally rods falling out of the hair, snap off where there's pressure. Yeah, so metallic salts are kind of bad juju if you're really looking for natural looking, you know, and awesome hair color.
You know, you mentioned perms. I had a wonderful conversation with a stylist yesterday in a salon. I really had a really, really wonderful. I love talking to seasoned stylists that are willing to share knowledge. Okay.
Right.
And it was, so we were just like this. We were all over the place talking about multiple different topics. We covered 13 topics in 5 minutes. But then we started talking about perming. And she was explaining to me that air neutralizing is the best way to, it's the actually the most safest way to neutralize a perm, because with the neutralizer from Perm Solutions, usually they say you leave it on for 5 minutes, then you take it off. Well, people, stylists in general, think if 5 minutes is good, leaving it on longer would be, you know, gooder. How do you say that?
Yeah, it's gooder.
It's gooder, right? It's better. Yeah, if 5 minutes is good, then it must be better to leave it on longer. It'll just neutralize it even further. And what she was saying was pocket curls and breakage was actually coming from the neutralizer. We always thought it was the solution that was breaking the hair.
Nope.
It was the over neutralizing during the process. During the neutralizing process, it was over processing it with neutralizer. It would re-harden the hair so much that by the time you'd go to undo the rod, that's where the hair would literally start snapping.
Sure.
So she said she figured that out very early in her career and in her experiences with doing perms, because what she figured out was if she would be running behind, she would towel blot the hair, let them sit and start air drying. She would go catch up with whatever other services she was doing. Then when she had actual time to sit and babysit the neutralizer, she would say like she noticed those perms came out far better.
Right.
And she noticed the pattern. And then whenever she'd be running behind and she'd be rushing, or she would leave the neutralizer on a little longer while she ran off to go catch up on doing something else and then come back, there was just continual breakage or problems in general. Okay.
Right.
So
Okay.
then she started doing experiments and she took it one step further. She would make them go, like she would do the perm, and then at the shampoo bowl, she'd rinse it out real good. She'd tie them up with a hairnet, send them home.
Ooh.
And let them left like that set and air
24.
neutralize for a few days.
Ooh.
Come back 2 days later, and then she would drop the curls or drop the rods.
Okay.
And style the, you know, style the curls afterwards. And she said they were the best perms. They lasted the longest, and the hair was in the best condition.
Right.
And so what I was telling her was when we do our shows, you know, we would get those noodles and we would tie up the noodles in the models and then let them go overnight and then come back and we would undo it. And for the day, you know, right before stage, they'd have like beautiful,
sure,
it looked like finger waves or beach waves.
Yeah, the old bendy spiral rods. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So
That's
I
awesome.
was liking it to that, you know, similarly to that. And she was like, yeah. So we were, oh man, it was such a fun conversation that I had with her. It was such a pleasant conversation that I had.
Well, that's like I saw Vidal Sassoon talk once, and when he was an assistant during World War II, back when they used to do the machine perms,
Okay.
women that, you know, and so they're doing the machine perm, and there's an air raid, and they all book it out of the salon, and they left this poor woman connected to this machine, and like 4 hours later they come back, this poor woman is just a puddle of goo sitting under this machine. You know, and I'm sure they cut the power and everything, but he said when they got her out and unwrapped it, she said it was the best perm she ever had.
Oh my God. So if any of you know what a hood, like the hood dryers,
Right.
back in the day,
Machine
there
burn.
there used to be a little electrical connections. They'd be like extension cords hanging off the hood dryer, and the perm rods had little adapters in them.
Yeah.
So you would set the hair in the rods, you take them over to the hood dryer, and you would physically
Connect
plug
them.
in every single rod into the hood dryer. So the person was literally, stuck.
Like something from science fiction. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So
Definitely.
yeah, if that's not the ultimate set, like
That is. How cool is that?
that
Okay.
is wild, man. That is so wild.
Yeah. So you ready for? We gotta finish up the quiz here. We're going sideways really quick.
No, today is going to be the fun day.
Okay. So here's a great one for you. What is vegan hair dye? A, it's made from roots and plants. B, no animal derived ingredients are in the hair dye. C, no such thing. Or D, any hair color. What is vegan hair dye?
Those answers all have merit in there. This is a trick question. That's what this is.
Well, with vegan becoming larger and larger,
it would be a plant-based. I think for the purpose of this quiz, it would be a plant-based, but then no animal stuff. But then under what category? I can't answer this question. You
okay.
You mess
so the truth, and I asked this, and I
you mess. This is a trick question.
No, this is a fun one because everybody is so confused on what exactly vegan is, right?
It's an edible. Look, all nutrient is a vegan color because I eat it.
Which explains a lot. Actually, vegan is no animal derived ingredients and or products. That is the true definition of vegan.
Okay.
So
that's why it doesn't taste good.
That's why it tastes good. So there's your quiz. We went a little long here and there on certain things, but that was kind of a fun one. We need to really talk. I don't know if we want to have fun today, or do you want to get into something kind of dark?
I mean, we got our class coming up on Monday too. We were going to go over the education stuff for a preview for the show.
That's in the next segment.
All right, let's go dark, and then I don't know.
Let's go dark. Let's go dark.
Shiny coin going that way. Let's follow where. Let's go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, let's go down a rabbit hole. This is what I want to talk about. I have had some interesting interactions over the past week with people from different aspects of our industry. I was sitting in a meeting with a bunch of different hairdressers, from people that are in big shops all the way down to independents. And I want to know, and I want to know what everybody out there thinks too, is why does everybody have to be so divided? Well, you work in a big salon, you're a commission, and and then well, you're an independent and you're looked down upon, and you're looked down upon, and you're looked down upon. You know what I'm talking about? Where everybody is so critical of everybody else who are doing things different than them. When are we all going to finally wake up and realize that we operate inside of a field of the beauty industry? We all operate, and there are plenty of clients to go around. And how freaking cool is it that you can take any one of these paths and make a living and be successful? And instead of us all getting together for the betterment of our industry, it's always this negativity. Why do people choose? That's my question. Why do people choose negativity instead of being positive? And Cool. You work in a 10,000 square foot shop. That's awesome. Good. That's awesome. Oh, you're an independent. How cool that you took it out on your own. You work for a mom and pop shop. That's fantastic. Because A, there's plenty of clients to go around. B, no one's taking your cheese. No one's taking your stuff from you. I think our industry should be celebrated, not this negativity. What's your feelings?
Well, it's split. Some people, that's what makes human nature human nature. Some people have the mindset of coexistence peacefully. Some people have the mindset of coexistence through violence. And that's why we have the expressions that we have, some people have a more competitive mentality, like my kid is smarter than your kid. Some people have the Bundy syndrome. I scored 4 touchdowns in high school football, but I'm 50 years old now, but that was 40 years ago, 30 years ago. Everybody's got a different mentality, right? And that's what makes the world the world. I mean, that's why that's why you have different political factions. That's why you got factions. You got political factions. You've got cultural divide. You've got racial faction divide. You got age gaps and generational divide. This is a lot of division. It's a lot of division. This is why math in school is so confusing nowadays. They can't just do 1 + 1 = 2. They have to, put the apples together into a basket, divide the apples, do some social experiment, something or other, and then eventually they discover that all along it was just the answer was freaking 2 to begin with. You didn't have to do all this extra Hello Kitty work. 4 apples tall or whatever the crap it is, right?
Don't be dissing Hello Kitty.
But see, there you go. There's a divide between us. You can't accept the fact that I don't like it, so you have to stand up for it and say, hey, you just said something foul against Hello Kitty. How dare you?
No. I'm just looking out for your best interest because you're going to get a frying pan upside the head.
Maybe I like frying pans upside my head. Maybe I purposely go out of my way to talk smack about Hello Kitty, fully knowing that Carmelina is going to freaking give it to me when she gets back, right? After she watches this. So maybe it's in my own best interest.
All right.
I'm telling you. But see,
my point,
that's a great example. You mind your business and let me worry about my beef with Hello Kitty and what Carmelina is going to do to me.
All right. We're going sideways on the subject.
But that's my example, bro. No, that's my example.
I get your example, but I'm still very confused as to why all of us we operate in the same fucking.
Because that's exactly. We all operate in the same industry. Why are we fighting over? Okay, if you are from whatever town you are, that town's population, generally speaking, is 10,000 or more. Yes, there are towns with smaller populations as well. But here is a general thought. Statistically speaking, if a client comes back every 6 weeks, and if you work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, you put in a full-time 40-hour week, okay, under those guidelines, to be 100% booked, you only need 160 clients. Correct. So if you live in a town or in an area, if you are operating in an area that has traffic, forget about local people living there, just enough traffic that gives more than 160 people a year, you don't have to fight your neighbor over the same 160 people. So if you live in a town that has traffic coming through that has more than 100,000 people, that's enough for whatever divided by, what is that, like 8 160 divided by 100,000. 8 stylists can live comfortably all full-time, 100% booked. If you're in a population that has 200,000, 300,000, has traffic coming through your area, 500,000 people a year, there's enough business for, I don't know, whatever that math is, 3 dozen, 100 hairdressers. So, but we're all fighting over the same small client sample, and we're trying to round the wagons and fight over that small stylist sample. It's so goofy to me. It's so goofy to me. And then it comes to a measuring contest. Mine is bigger than yours. You mean my shop is bigger than your shop?
Sure. Yeah. Once again, my whole thought process on this is, and I'll be interested to hear what anybody else has to say, is that, like I said, we operate inside of a awesome industry where many avenues you can take to become successful, financially independent. Go down the list of anything of the positives. There are far more positives than negatives in our industry. And there is plenty, everybody gets a bite of the apple. And I think that the sooner that we all realize that we're doing the same thing and there's plenty to go around, the better off we're all going to be. End of story. That was just my hot button topic for the day, because I sat in this meeting watching these people and watched the posturing, and it was just like, this is not what our industry is about. It really isn't, because we're all standing behind the chair. We're all running. If we're not standing behind the chair, we're running a business. We're doing all these different things, but we all are moving in the same direction. And that's it. Okay. So with that being said, talk to me about Monday coming up. What are we in store for Monday with HTB's Hours Day?
We're going to spend 7 hours bragging about how amazing we are and how much everybody else sucks.
Yeah, that's all right. So that's the first 2 minutes. And then what?
Lunch.
Okay.
And then we're going to spend another 7 hours after lunch complaining about how much lunch sucks and how much better cooks we are at home.
Well, I think also
what'd you call it? Posturing. We're just going to posture ourselves.
We're going to posture. Yeah, we're just going to. Well, my question is, first off, is during lunch. Well, should we just go down the list of what the day is going to look like, or do you just want to go?
Look, Monday, March 10 in Downers Grove. Okay, Downers Grove, Illinois. We're going to have the ultimate 7 CE hours education day. So you could get half your continuing education requirement in one day in one sitting. That's what Monday is all about. In the state of Illinois, you need 14 hours of continuing education credits every 2 years as part of the eligibility requirements for the renewal of your Cosmo license. There's a couple of other requirements as well, too. We're not doing that on Monday. We're only doing the hours part of the fulfillment requirements. And so being able to get half your hours in one day is huge. That's awesome. Okay. And with that being said, we're going to go over a bunch of topics. Talk about hair loss, talk about shedding, talk about creating volume, how to do a haircut for somebody who doesn't have a lot of hair. We'll be doing, we get a lot of technical questions all week long about medications and just diets and the different physiology of people and their nervousness about ingredients. So we'll talk about that as well too. Toning is huge, especially now. We're going at this time of the year. We're going from the winter and we're transitioning into the spring. So you know what? People are going to just generally want to start going lighter with their hair color. So we'll start, toning hair. We'll start talking about toners. And we've got a nice little treat. There's 7 new shades of color that have just come out that are extremely popular and trending. We're going to go over all 7 of those too. We are going to be talking about Hair extensions. Hair extensions is exploding in popularity, this past few years at such a rate. And now there's so many different techniques available out there. So we're going to cover a bunch of techniques. We'll talk about individual strands. We'll talk about wefts. We'll talk about, tape. We'll talk about beaded. We're going to be talking about a multitude of different types of extensions, but we're actually going to show off a couple of techniques of hair extensions as well too. So that'll be fun. With the spring, there's a couple of haircuts trending. So there's a number of haircuts that we're going to be going over. So that'll be fun too. Some will be layers. Some will be with design lines. Some will be for blending, movement, volume, and fullness, And of course, every time the spring comes around, that's when treatment season comes around too. And treatments is whether it's conditioning, whether it's smoothing, whether it's packs and K-packs and all that good stuff, And I don't know why it has to be a seasonal thing. It should be a year-round thing, in my opinion.
I agree.
But we're going to go over that too, and we're going to be addressing it. I think the most challenging part of Monday is going to be during the break time. We're going to do an unplugged session. I don't know why I let you talk me into this, but we're going to have an Ask Me Anything, an AMA question during the hour break, which you never know. You want to talk about going dark or going down a rabbit hole or off the rails.
It'll be a fun interaction with the two of us and anybody. Ask us anything. We'll answer it the best we can. If it's personal questions, I would definitely
be prepared for the answers if you ask personal questions.
Yes.
And let me tell you, when I say be prepared for the answers, okay, if this is truly an unplugged segment like you described it to me,
yes,
then I ain't filtering myself. So
if
a lot of people don't believe the life that I have lived.
Okay. And I'm going to put a challenge forward with the Ask Me Anything segment. Anybody watching, if you're going to be there Monday, ask Eddie about his love of slip and slides.
Okay. Stupid ass. Then be prepared for the answer. You think you're going to embarrass me? I won't hold back. I'll fucking say the answer.
I know you. I know you will give a unfiltered answer.
You better give a NSF what is it? NSFW warning before that answer comes out. So that's but the point of Monday overall is the transfer of knowledge.
It is
knowledge and education.
I'll go for
really. I mean, all jokes aside, we make light and we have our fun,
Yeah.
But it's really the openness and the willingness to share gained knowledge collectively as a group. We are looking at, I think there's 3 or 4 spots left. I told you at the pace this is going, it's going to be sold out by Monday. There is going to be no availability at the door. There just isn't.
No.
And that's fine. I'm totally fine with that too. A sold out event is a sold out event. That's awesome.
And
so you're going to have,
we're going to come back and do it in May again too.
That's why we put the second date together. And now we're looking into a third date because at the rate Monday is selling as of now, forget come Monday by the end of March, by the end of this month. I'd be shocked if this thing doesn't sell out by April, before April. So, and that's fine too. That's what it's all about.
Right.
You're going to just think about that collectively. There's going to be close to a millennia of knowledge. There's going to be close to 1,000 years of knowledge. Some people have been in the industry that are attending, have been in it for 20, 30, 40 years.
Right.
Some people have been in it for okay, maybe I'm exaggerating 1,000 years of collective knowledge, but maybe 500 years. I'll be comfortable with saying about 500 years of knowledge collectively. And how many experiences is that? That's amazing.
Think
And we
about
can
that.
share successes and failures and ideas and concepts and techniques.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's why humanity has thrived in the way that it has. I was listening to a story and they were saying that in the future, we're going to run into alien life form, and we will find out that they have existed for thousands of years. And they are going to be impressed because of the way we download knowledge. We do it through imagery and writing. We trust somebody else's words, and then we make it our own, and then we build off of that. We don't waste our time inefficiently going through all the pains and sufferings ourselves individually. Otherwise, we would never move forward. We would just always be spinning our wheel,
Right.
Barely getting ahead. But in our short lifespans, how much we can accomplish is astronomically awesome and insane. And if you think about that, look at your own lifetime. Look at each of your own lifetimes and think about how it was growing up to how it was in your adolescence to how it is in your adulthood. And then coming into old age, just imagine, if you're not already there yet, what it's going to be like. It's wild. Wild.
I can't. I'm closer to old age than you are, and I can't wait to just sit on my front step and yell at the kids to get off my grass.
And the ability to be able to do that. I mean, how wild is that too?
Right.
So it's cool.
So guys, check it out. HTBbeauty.com. Tickets, like I said, there's a couple tickets for this Monday still available, and then there's tickets for May available. That's actually selling too, from what I saw on the counter. And we're looking at a third date maybe too. So check it out. We will have a recap next week for you of how the class went and the fun and excitement that went on there. So are you ready for your motivation for this week, young man?
I've been motivated this whole time already.
Are you? You're a highly motivated.
I think this was my reset button. I feel so much better now.
Yes, we pushed your reset button. We unplugged Eddie, counted to 30, and then plugged him back in. We didn't have to call Xfinity support for him.
It magically fixes everything. I don't know how turning it off and on again fixes everything so much.
Okay.
Is that the motivation for this week? Just turn it off and on again?
That could be the motivation, but I got something better. It's from Abraham Lincoln.
Oh.
The best way to predict your future is to create it.
Okay.
The best way to predict your future is to create your future. That's from Abraham Lincoln. And it rings so true on so many different levels. When you look and see what you want to accomplish, you set out on a plan and you make it happen to get what you want, your future. If you just live life by the seat of your pants and you're like a plastic bag in the wind, I mean, I guess if you like being surprised on what your future holds for you, you can go that way. But for me personally, and I know you too, I know you're a big planner, step by step, inch by inch, it's the focus on what I want my future to be. And are there roadblocks in the way? 100%. Do you have to take a side step here or there? And even sometimes you got to take a step back to forward. That is, you create your own future. I leave nothing to chance. Because when you leave things to chance, that's when Mr. Murphy steps in and whatever can go wrong will go wrong. That's my take on that, is to take control of your future and you make it happen for yourself. True?
I don't really have much to add to that, man. I mean, I am living proof of that.
100%.
Anybody, it's sad when I see people doing something, and when you ask them, why do you do that? And they say, well, that's just what was expected of me. And they're just utterly miserable.
Right.
Very, very few people are happy under those circumstances.
Right.
You see other people just like you're describing, and yeah, there's hardships like you were saying, but ultimately they're the most motivated people you'll ever run across.
100%.
Grab
your future, guys. Yeah. And I mean, you got to reach for that ring. You got to get after it. I keep saying that's a great quote of mine. I always use is get after it. Now, are you going to, like I said, are you going to take a step back sometimes to move too forward? Yes. Things happen, but you got to keep going for that future and what you want.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Why is it a lot of people have to hit rock bottom before they get motivated enough to chase after creating their own future?
I think if we're talking about human nature, I think a lot of people are scared of being uncomfortable until they are uncomfortable. I know a lot of people that are very comfortable. This is how my life is. I'm going to live life with these blinders on. I'm just going to look, I'm just going to get what's in front of me. And then when there's nothing left and they've got nothing left, that's when they get motivated to, oh my God, I got to get this. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm guilty. Guilty as charged too from sometimes becoming complacent. You get very comfortable. I mean, for 28 years, I was freaking comfortable. I was very comfortable. I was making money. I was taking care of clients, but it came to the point where I wasn't growing anymore. And there were things I wanted. There are things that you and I set out to do together that I couldn't keep up. I just couldn't do it because of the situation that I had put myself in. And it took getting out from being comfortable. It took for me to really get highly motivated to move forward. Yeah. Did I build my clientele? Yeah, I built my clientele. I existed inside my little bubble and it was freaking beautiful. But I wasn't growing. I wasn't going to attain anything more than what I had. And I wanted more than I had. And I wanted something more. I wanted more and I wanted different. And that's what it takes. That's people become very complacent. I will give you a for instance, and then we'll cut this off. But you and I have walked into salons to present to people a different way of managing their color lines. I remember we did that big proposal for someone where we showed them actually we were going to save them 50% per application, if I remember correctly. And the number might be off a little bit, but we presented someone with a proposal, and it was so far outside what they were used to doing business wise that we were both just sloughed off. It was like, no. But wait, we're going to save you 50%. Didn't even matter to them because this is where their comfort zone was, right? Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
And we showed them, and with the retail, we showed them the money that would come in from retail, and it was against where they were comfortable. And I remember you and I walking out, looking at each other, going, "Huh?" And it's just people get comfortable, and then there are those people who thrive on being uncomfortable, and until you're uncomfortable, you're not going to get motivated. Here's a simple. I'll even break it down even simpler. You're sitting there watching TV, okay, or playing a video game or whatever, and you've got to go to the bathroom, but you don't want to push pause, and you wait and wait and wait, until you can't wait anymore, right? That's a very uncomfortable feeling. You are then motivated to push pause, get up, and go to the bathroom. How's that for you?
Okay.
This has been the weird one today. This is our weird one for the month, guys.
All right. So that's the lesson learned is just hold it till you can't hold it anymore.
Well,
and then go running.
Exactly.
Beeline it. Run, knock over the kids in the hallway.
God help who's in between you and the bathroom.
Pray to God there's no Legos strewn across the floor that you step on like a landmine.
I think easier until after you were done doing what you had to do. Then it would be, ow, GD. Look, I still feel a Lego I stepped on 10 years ago in my foot, okay? So anyway, but guys, we're done for the week. We are done. This is over. Join us again next week. Same time, same channel. We'll have an overview for our hours class, and we'll have some new interesting bathroom humor for you and what have you. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Can we do story time?
We could do a story time.
Let's do story time.
Story time with Eddie.
We'll start working on that.
We'll get a rug. Everybody will sit around the rug. But guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for all your support. And we'll catch you next week.
Yeah. And we'll see a bunch of you on Monday.
Hopefully.
The SFTB podcast was not recorded in front of a live studio audience, so thanks for joining us for today's episode. If our hair topics made you smile, give us a thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll read them while waiting for our caller to process. Share this video with your stylists and friends. It helps us make a difference, one strand at a time. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Because your hair deserves all the latest and greatest tips.